Olympics are the pinnacle for any sports person. But a country like India hardly mounts a challenge at this quadrennial event. So why is it that a country of billions hardly produces a handful of medals at the Olympics? With the Rio Olympics just about a year away, we at India Today tried to answer this question and went around the country and met various medal hopefuls. We present our special series, Rio Reality Check. Today we take you to Bhiwani, a city which is known for its boxers and has produced numerous stars like Vijender Singh. But there is one man who's breaking the set mold and venturing into uncharted territories. He's someone who can take Indian athletics to unparalleled heights. Someone who could soon be the poster boy of Indian athletics.
मैं इंद्रजीत हूँ। मैंने एथलेटिक्स में शॉटपुट में ओलंपिक के लिए क्वालिफाई किया है। क्वालिफाई करना मेरा लक्ष्य नहीं है और देश के लिए जो 112 साल में मेडल नहीं आया, वो मेडल लाना मेरा लक्ष्य है।
As Indrajit Singh became the first track and field athlete from India to qualify for the Rio Olympics, there are a lot of expectations that the country has from him. But the story of Indrajit's qualification and his journey from here till Rio is not as simple as you may think.
भाई इंद्रजीत देश की खातिर इर मेडल ल्यावे या इच्छा हमारी से इर हमारी तो से और पूरे देश ने इस बात की तैयारी से
टिल डेट मुझे 14-15 साल हो गए खेल करते और मुझे आज तक कहीं से भी कोई भी सॉलिड सपोर्ट आज तक नहीं हुई है। मेरे फादर थे, उन्होंने मेरी सपोर्ट करी जो अब नहीं है। मेरे फैमिली ने करी, मेरे कोच ने करी, मेरे दोस्तों ने करी, पर उसके बाद जो सिस्टम होता है ना, जिनको करना चाहिए, उन्होंने नहीं करी। मैंने अपने जो मेरी लैंड थी उन पे लोन ले रखा है। पापा के गुजरने के बाद जो फंड आया था वो सारा मैंने खा लिया। मेरी 2 शॉप्स होती थी, वो भी मैंने सेल कर दी। मेरे भाई की जॉब पे लोन है, तो हर जगह से मैंने क्रेडिट लिया, लोन लिया, मेरे दोस्तों से लिया, मेरे कोच से लिया। आज मैं यहाँ पे हूँ।
The hardships haven't deterred the Asian Games bronze medalist though. He has a resolve of steel as far as putting a challenge for a medal at Rio is concerned.
शुरू में तो डीमोटिवेट बहुत होता है इंसान, अभी भी होता हूँ कभी-कभी, पर अब मैं बहुत स्ट्रांग हो गया हूँ। देश में पहला खिलाड़ी जिसने ओलंपिक क्वालिफाई कर दिया, अब क्या देख रहे हो? अब तो मदद करो।
While the government does announce numerous schemes and financial support systems for the athletes, whether they receive it or not is a big question.
How many athletes really know what their rights are? How many athletes really know how to bring their problems forward? Firstly, they need to approach their federations. Secondly, once the athlete probables are selected, the amount of money government finds, I see no reason why the government shouldn't be supporting them.
In Indrajit's case, the ministry has taken note of his stellar performances and included his name in the controversial TOP scheme.
We have just covered him under the TOP scheme. So I think this should take care of his concerns to a large extent. But of course, I mean, it does not mean that there's no need for support from other quarters. I think athletes like him need support from all quarters.
एंड इस बात से करना चाहूँगा कि मुझे सपोर्ट मिले ना मिले, ओलंपिक के लिए मैं अपने तरफ से पूरी मेहनत करूँगा।
भाई इंद्रजीत देश की खातिर इर मेडल ल्यावे या इच्छा हमारी से इर हमारी तो से और पूरे देश ने इस बात की तैयारी से अरे भाई इंद्रजीत गोल्ड ल्यावेगा भाई इंद्रजीत गोल्ड लावेगा या देखे दुनिया सारी से, या देखे दुनिया सारी से.
The Indian archers have made the country proud at various international events and are considered as one of the strongest medal hopefuls for Rio Olympics. But as the archers get ready to mount their challenge for Rio and take part in the first qualification event in Denmark, the federation has been hit by a cash crunch, with their sole sponsor Tata pulling out. The Archery Federation and its defined president Vijay Kumar Malhotra have been fighting the ministry's diktats of age and tenure since being derecognized in 2012. Their strength could largely be attributed to a generous sum being provided by the Tata Group to strengthen their coffers. But in a sudden turn of events, Tata pulled out of their 3-year deal with the AAI, not getting the mileage they had hoped for.
And now when Tatas have pulled out for reasons best known to them, we are continuing with the same tournament, and we are also on the lookout for new sponsors.
Tata was the sole sponsor for the 50 lakh prize money national ranking tournament and also provided branded kits for the national team. The NRT is important because it was to serve as a trials tournament for the World Championship to be held in Denmark in June. These championships are the first opportunity for archers to qualify for the Rio Olympics. Even though sources have indicated to India today that the quality of kits have already degraded and the players are worried about the future of NRT, the federation is in a defiant mode.
As far as the kit goes, the association has got together the kit for the archers, and we are supplying that kit for them. And as far as the championship ranking goes, like I have mentioned earlier, we are going ahead with it as before.
The AAI, in fact, had earlier refused help even from the sports ministry, as that could interfere with their hold over the federation.
In fact, we had earlier also, about a year back, offered to fund prize money tournaments for the archers, because archery is one sport where we are doing very well. At that time, the federation was reluctant to take us help because they said they are already getting enough funding from the Tata Group.
It is this apathy towards the future of the athletes that has made it difficult for India to deliver medals at the Olympic Games.
It's always been the same story where the players always have to suffer when the sponsors pull out. The federations nearly now need to pull their socks up and understand the financial stability they had to bring in the federation. The federation need to be financially more strong.
The Tata Academy in Jamshedpur produced a talent like Deepika Kumari. And the compound team created history at the Incheon Asian Games, winning the first ever gold in archery for the country. There is a lot that is expected from the archers. Let us just hope that this struggle for power does not affect India's medal chances at the Rio Olympics. In New Delhi, Radhika Tongar for India Today. We talk about women's equality and rights in India every day. And the emergence of female wrestlers like Geeta and Babita Phogat has been a massive boost in that direction. But even after battling stereotypes and winning accolades for the country, these female wrestlers are shackled by the mentality of the Wrestling Federation, which is still living in the dark ages.
Suarez stepping into position.
When we talk of women athletes, names like Sania Mirza and Saina Nehwal come to the fore. But the Phogat sisters from Haryana are no less. Hailing from a village Balali in Haryana, Geeta, Babita and Vinesh were never treated less than sons and given the opportunity to explore their talents on the wrestling mat.
तो गांव देहात में तो आपने पता लड़कियों बारे में विरोध होता था, लोग काफी में विरोध का सामना करना पड़ा। कई बार जो मेरे परिवार ने जो मना किया भी नहीं, जो लड़कियों को कुछ खिलाते हुए गलत है, आपने पढ़ने जो कोई बेटी के कान टूट जाए, कोई हाथ पाथ टूट जाए, कल इनसे कोई शादी भी नहीं करेगा। लेकिन मैंने किसी परवाह नहीं, मेरा एक ही लक्ष्य था, सर ओलंपिक में मेडल लेना।
Even though Mahavir Singh fought against stereotypes to help his daughters make a name in a sport dominated by men, The Wrestling Federation of India has decided to plunge the girls back to the dark ages. Sai Sonipat is the best training facility for wrestling in the country. It is the home to Olympic medalists Sushil Kumar and Yogeshwar Dutt. The female wrestlers though train at an inferior facility in Lucknow. Reason? Because the WFI does not feel that male and female athletes can train together.
सोनीपत में लड़कों का और लखनऊ में लड़कियों का ये हमारा निर्णय नहीं है, ये सब लोगों का मिलकर के निर्णय है, क्योंकि इतने लोगों को एक साथ संभालना जो है ये अच्छी बात नहीं है।
Shocked? Listen again.
हमेशा लड़कियों के कैंप अलग लगे हैं, लड़कों के कैंप अलग लगे हैं। हमेशा लड़कियों के अलग लगे हैं, लड़कों के अलग लगे हैं। तो इसको लेकर के जो भी निर्णय है वो हम उस पर कायम हैं और वो निर्णय सही है।
If the attitude of the Federation was not shocking enough, the Sports Ministry and WFI are passing the buck, claiming the decision was taken by the other party.
देखिए, ये भारत सरकार स्तर का निर्णय है कि कुश्ती का जो लड़कों की ट्रेनिंग है, माने पुरुष पहलवान है, इनका हब है हमारा ये सोनीपत। इसको हम कैडेट से लेकर के और जूनियर से लेकर के और सीनियर तक का इसको हम हब बनाना चाहते हैं। ये केवल हक के लिए हमारा निर्णय नहीं है।
I mean, it's a difficult thing. I mean, we did. I mean, yes, you are right. Some of the female athletes were in favor of training at Sonipat along with the male athletes, but the federation seems to have very strong views on the subject, and they are very keen that the training of the female athletes continues at Lucknow.
This reasoning has become a laughing matter among former athletes.
If Sushil and Yogeshwar had been inspirations, Geeta on the other side, and so many other young wrestlers have been inspiration to many, many women in Haryana and in many other states. And I see no reason why the other sports, when they can train together, men and women both, in this modern era, where we see there shouldn't be any equality differences.
The Sai facility in Lucknow has its set of problems, and the Federation and Ministry are shockingly both aware of them.
कूलिंग की समस्या एक है थोड़ा सा, क्योंकि वो उनका कोई कुश्ती का अपना अलग से हाल नहीं है, एक बड़ा हाल है, उसी के अंदर प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, तो भविष्य में वो ठीक कर ली जाएगी, कूलिंग की समस्या का समाधान कर लिया जाएगा।
With India fighting for the equal rights of women in every corner, this gender bias being shown by the Wrestling Federation is surely a setback in that direction. In New Delhi, Radhika Tongar for India Today. It is now time to slip into a quick break. But on the other side, we will show you the stories of shooter Mohammad Asab and gymnast Ashish Kumar. A Commonwealth bronze brought Mohammad Asab various promises for jobs from numerous parties, including the UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav and Government PSU ONGC. Time sailed through and it has been 8 months. And Asab is still waiting for those promises to be fulfilled. Years of hard work produces a win at the international stage. But in that moment of pride and victory, the athlete is not alone. Everyone wants a piece of the pie and bask in the glory of success. Mohammad Asab's Commonwealth Games bronze brought about a similar story.
जब मैंने कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स का ब्रोंज मेडल जीता था, हमारे जो मुख्यमंत्री साहब हैं उन्होंने जो आश्वासन दिया था जॉब्स के लिए कि आप लोगों को स्पोर्ट कोटे के तहत जॉब दी जाएगी, तो वो बेसिकली अभी तक पूरा नहीं हो पाया। हम लोगों की एप्लीकेशन ऐसे ही पड़ी हैं।
While our attempts to get a reaction from the UP government on the said promises failed to yield any results, the Sports Ministry was quick to wash its hands of the issue.
As far as other third parties not keeping up their commitments to the athletes, there's very little that we in the Government of India can do about it.
But when reminded that Government PSU ONGC was one of the culprits in this whole mess, a defensive stand was taken by the ministry.
ONGC had made an offer like this. We'll be happy to take it up with them and see that they keep up their commitment.
Shooting is an expensive sport and the unfulfilled promises of jobs are sure to hurt the morale of athletes who are one of India's brightest medal prospects.
I feel sorry for the players when their promises are not being fulfilled. After winning medals, there are people who make false promises or make big declarations just to draw publicity or mileage.
Asab on his part is just hoping for someone to give him what he rightly deserves.
मेरी लाइफ हो गई है शूटिंग के अंदर और अभी तक मेरे पास कोई जॉब नहीं है। मेरे सब जितने भी टीममेट्स हैं सबके पास में जॉब्स हैं और मैं अभी तक मेरे पास कोई जॉब नहीं है बेसिकली। तो मैं ये दरख्वास्त करना चाहता हूँ कि मेरे अचीवमेंट्स के मुताबिक मुझे जॉब दी जाए, या तो यूपी सरकार में दी जाए या फिर ONGC के अंदर दी जाए।
With the Rio Olympics hardly a year away, spending uncountable hours outside offices to fight for his right is surely going to adversely affect Asab's preparations.
थोड़ा प्रेशर होता है, साइकोलॉजिकल प्रेशर होता है माइंड के ऊपर कि हम लोग देश के लिए खेल रहे हैं, देश के लिए जीत रहे हैं और फिर भी हम लोगों को अच्छी जॉब ना मिल पाए तो अफसोस तो होता ही है।
In a country of billions where one medal is treasured like hundreds, let us hope that the celebrations and accolades do not end with that one moment of glory, and athletes are not left to fend for themselves after the cameras are turned off and the moment has passed. In New Delhi, Radhika Tongar for India Today. When Ashish Kumar won the first medal in gymnastics for India at the Delhi Commonwealth Games, it seemed like the dawn of a new era in Indian gymnastics. The entire country erupted with joy. But it all turned out to be a false alarm. As Ashish tries to mount a challenge for Rio, his campaign has been marred by no coaches and under-par facilities.
Look at that lovely approach, full of spring.
मेरा नाम आशीष कुमार है और मैं इलाहाबाद का रहने वाला हूँ और मैं जिम्नास्ट हूँ। मैंने जिम्नास्टिक 94 में स्टार्ट की थी, बॉलर स्कूल में, नेशनल स्पोर्ट्स एकेडमी में।
He dreamt of changing the way we look at Olympic sports in the country, but is still struggling to fight the babudom in the country.
हमारी फेडरेशंस में थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम्स रही है। फेडरेशन के चलते जो हमारे नेशनल्स होते थे, 2011 मैंने लास्ट नेशनल खेला था जयपुर में।
He leaped his way to history books in 2010, but it seems there is no way forward for him.
He's overcooked it. लेकिन इतनी मेहनत करने का कोई फायदा नहीं मिलता क्योंकि हमें कोई एक्सपोजर नहीं मिल पाता। अभी ना कोई कैंप है, ना एक्सपोजर है, ना कोई कोच है। मतलब जो मेन नीडेड एक जिम्नास्ट को चाहिए वो कुछ है ही नहीं, बेस ही नहीं है।
This is the story of Ashish Kumar, India's first gymnast to win a medal at the Commonwealth Games. Ashish Kumar was still a teenager when he bagged a silver and a bronze at the 2010 Commonwealth Games. He followed it up with another medal at the Asian Games. He took us away from the usual. It looked India was all set to explore new medal prospects, but the custodians of sport have failed us again.
अभी की बात करें 2010 के बाद की, तो आपको बताना चाहूँगा 2010 के बाद से मेरे पास कोई भी कोच नहीं है। 2011 तक मेरे साथ मेरे जो कोच थे DK राठौर वो थे। उसके बाद मेरे पास कोई भी कोच नहीं है। विदाउट एनी कोच मैं ट्रेनिंग कर रहा हूँ। कोई एक्सपोजर नहीं है, कोई भी कैंप्स कंटिन्यू नहीं लग रहे हैं और काफ़ी सारी चीज़ों की दिक्कतें आ रही है ट्रेनिंग में।
Gymnastics Federation is in a limbo for some reasons of dispute between the IOA and the Gymnastics Federation. But nevertheless, our main philosophy is that the athletes' cause should not suffer.
The government assures that the athletes' cause should not suffer, but even they will agree that they have not been proactive in assuring support to athletes. For instance, the Olympic camp for the gymnasts started as late as June 2015, just around 100 days before the Rio qualifiers, and the lackluster attitude of the officials has also started to play on the athletes' mind.
अक्टूबर में हम लोगों के लास्ट क्वालिफिकेशन राउंड है रियो के लिए और सिर्फ हमारे पास कुछ ही महीने बाकी हैं। मुझे विश्वास है कि मैं अगर मुझे सही गाइडेंस मिले, सही एक्सपोजर मिले, कोच मिले तो मैं कर सकता हूँ। लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं परिस्थितियाँ ऐसी है या फैसिलिटीज़ ना के कारण मुझे अपना जो टारगेट है बहुत ऐसा लगता है कि ऑलमोस्ट इम्पॉसिबल है, क्योंकि कोई फैसिलिटीज नहीं है और एक्सपोजर नहीं है।
But there can be some hope for gymnasts as Sports Ministry assures that this camp will continue till their qualifiers.
Thomas roll out. The 13 top gymnasts and about 5 coaches, and including the coach which Ashish wanted, and will continue as long as the qualification round for the Olympics is there.
Even though it is really late, we hope Ashish Kumar qualifies for the Olympics and scripts history once again. Sports Bureau, India Today.